up, everybody? If you appreciate the format and you appreciate what we're doing here, then make sure you contribute to the Cash App, make sure you contribute to the PayPal, make sure you donate to the Super Chat. It's only you and your contributions that keep this thing going. You guys see we got haters. If you can hear me, hit the number 1 button. That's what I need y'all to do. We got haters. If you can hear me, hit the number 1 button. That's what I need y'all to do. And if you're going to make a contribution, go ahead and do it now. Because apparently what's going on is we got people reporting what I'm saying. Make your contributions early on. You know, early, you got the Super Chat, the Cash right there at the bottom. We'll sort this out. What's going to end up happening is I'm going to have one of my IT guys go through my call list and figure out who it is that's doing all this hate, and we're going to get rid of them. That's pretty much what we're going to do. We'll block them or not, but that's going to take a minute. But go ahead and contribute to the Super Chat, the Cash App, and the PayPal. And, you know, other than that, man, we'll proceed from this point. Just go ahead and get contributions out the way right now. And I'm going to get this message out to all you haters out there. We are going to save Black men, okay? I'm going to talk to these Black men about how they save their Black sons. Whether you like it or not, it don't matter. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't matter whether you like it or not, because this is something that we have to do. It's out there now. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to work on helping Black men learn the things they need to learn to do what? To make sure that we grow healthy, strong Black men. Put Black men at the forefront like they should be, so they can become rulers and leaders of the Black community. That's what we need to do. And you cannot do that with weak, effeminized Black boys, period. You can't do it. So we're going to keep at it. And the people going to keep contributing to me. Matter of fact, the more you try to block me, the more I'm going to come back. And then I'm going to start a new page. Matter of fact, I already got 4 or 5 other pages. They just going to find me over there. And before you do, I'm going to be back, period. So it is what it is. He's mean, he's a jerk, blah, 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 blah. But it doesn't matter because the word is out there. And what I'm trying to do is get somebody to replace me. I want you brothers to begin to speak up. I want you brothers to begin to say what's on your mind. Okay? And I want you to have no fear about doing that. So go ahead and hit the like button. Go ahead and look at all these contributions that are flowing in right there. Look, I've had a bunch of shows blocked in the past couple of days, and all of them have been having to do with Black men being men. So if you have a problem with Black men being men, then you are enemies. Now, I don't know who you are. I don't know why you're even here. This is a conversation between men. And for those of you guys who, you know, for those of you guys who appreciate what I'm doing here, make sure you know you can always go over to my Facebook page and holler at me over there. Either way, family, make sure you contribute to the Super Chat, Cash App, and the PayPal. Let these people know that all this that they're doing is not going to stop us from getting this message out there. If you appreciate what I'm doing, I'm a hard working man. Left alone, you know, I'm going to get this message out. That's all I'm saying. And somebody said the tag on the last video is flagged for inappropriate content. Yeah, that's what they do. It's all inappropriate content. So what we're gonna do is we just gonna start culling people away, get them up out of here, and it is gonna be what it is gonna be. Now, if you can hear me, hit the one button. If you can hear me and you hear what I'm saying, hit the number one button. You know how we do it. I'm gonna go ahead and open up the chat lines here real quick. I want to go ahead and get people in. Make sure that you guys are. Make sure that you guys are contributing to the Super Chat, the Cash App, and the PayPal. You got to do it early, because if you don't do it early, these lovely ladies are gonna try to block you from contributing to what I'm doing here. So make sure you go ahead and contribute right now to the Super Chat, the Cash App, and the PayPal. All right, but go ahead and do that now. Hit the like button. Don't really matter what they say. Don't really matter what they think. We're gonna still move on. Now, what I was saying earlier is, brothers, you got to protect your sons, and one of the places you're gonna have to protect your sons from are those school institutions. Because what do they try to do? Get them in there, brainwash them, treat them bad, make them feel like second-class citizens, and then what? And what does that do? What does that do? Can't speak themselves, so they cower in the corner. Now, a situation happened with my youngest son. He was about 3 years old. I had him at this elite black elementary school in Houston, Texas, and apparently his little jacket was taken from him and given to another little boy. But this is a little jacket he had and that his brother had, that his grandmother had gave him, and this meant something to him. It meant something to him because it was what his identity was. The reason that I know is because after the situation was over, I went ahead and talked to a child psychologist who explained to me what my little boy was thinking about. So, nevertheless, they wouldn't give my son his jacket back because what this other little boy curried favor with him and his family such and such. And I called the lady, I emailed, she didn't return my phone calls. I let that go for about 2 days, multiple emails. By the beginning of the next day, I went and contacted the police. Now, his mother had been trying to get these people to cooperate. They wouldn't cooperate. So we're at the point where I began to call the police, and the police came and did a police report on the situation. Bam, they called us in. It was right there. She wanted the administrator, this black American woman, wanted to give me a hard time about why would you call the police. I said, because I emailed you 7 times and you didn't respond. That's why. And that's his property, and we know who has it. It's our property. It's my son's property. They like it, and eventually they end up putting they put my son out to the school and everything, but he got his jacket back. More importantly, he saw that his dad had his back and that his daddy didn't. I didn't reduce myself to other than spending people. I did the legal process. I did what was necessary, and I got his jacket back. And so what that taught him was that it's perfectly acceptable for him to stand up for himself. Now, that happened when I was about 7 or 8 years ago. If you guys hear me, hit the number 1 button. Thank you. Shout out to Hologram EMC. Read Dumb Us Down by John Taylor Gatto. And so that helps such. If you hear me clearly hit the number 1 button. Make sure you're doing that. Next up, I had a situation with my son. Mind you, there was a black American woman who was an administrator, and she didn't like the fact that I was responding like I did. Like, they want to do dirt, right? And then I want you to respond to that because we all black and supposed to get along. But you really don't care what my son is having to go through and what my son will end up thinking about me after the situation is over. So what did I do? I did what I had to do as a dad. Now, there's another situation. A man said, not really, but I hear you. Okay, cool, bro. I appreciate that, man. The audio's a bit off. Yeah, it's going to be a bit off, but, man, we're going to work it out. But there was another situation where my son's cell phone was in his backpack, and this little black girl decided that she was going to step on his cell phone while it was in his backpack. So he removed his cell phone. Mind you, this is an after-school program that we pay for. She stepped on his cell phone, broke his cell phone, and so he moved her leg off his backpack. She went off crying. and they tried to get my son in trouble. So what did I do? I went up there and basically I said, well, what's going on? I asked my son what was happening. And I said, well, you know, and he told me the facts of the situation. Instead of just automatically signing, well, oh, this little girl, how dare you do that? You're this big fifth grader and she's a little third grader. I said, that's the same little girl that was picking fights a couple of months ago with a kid. My son was telling me about. And then when I told the lady, another black lady, when I told that black lady who was in charge of the after school program that I had already known what was going on, she had to kind of back off a little bit. So I didn't play that game with her because I know my son is looking at me. My son is looking at me like, how you going, Daddy, I'm in the right. She broke my cell phone. She kicked my bag and nobody has my side. You see what I'm saying? So you know, how are you going to handle it? See, some of you guys are so non-confrontational. Some of you guys want to go get along with these lovely ladies so much that you won't say anything, even in defense of your own sons, because you don't truly value your sons. You don't truly value black men. You don't even value yourself, truthfully. And so because of that, you know, you don't do it. You won't say, oh, you'll be all right, suck it up, you did that. And then your son is looking at you sideways like, man, you weak. You know, that's how your boy looking at you. Now, here's another one you're going to have to deal with. Now, I train my son martial arts. I pay for them to get the best teachers available. But here's the thing. Oftentimes, violence happens in schools. Bullies are around. And so I tell my sons to avoid fighting if they can. Don't fight. Don't get in any fights. It's not worth it because you'll get kicked out of school. So what do? My son, Dennis, is in middle school. He's in the 7th grade. Some other little boy, I think he put him in the back as he's walking by. This is a little black boy. And, you know, I tell my son, don't fight. He comes home and tells me what happened. So it's on me. Now, I know that my son could beat this little boy because at that point, you know, he already, you know, taking years of martial arts and fighting every week and whatnot. So, you know, that wasn't an issue. And I asked him about, well, how would you have fought the boy if you did fight? He told me, I'll do this, that, and the other. I'm like, okay, cool. So, you know, you could beat him anyway. It was not even any question. So I help him relieve whatever ego trip. But the bottom line is, you know, I still had to deal with that because, see, we don't let stuff like that slide. So I'm going to get my business, go up there and handle it. Y'all make sure y'all hit the Super Chat, the Cash App, and the PayPal because you know they're coming for me. I'm going to have to weather this storm. Y'all appreciate what I'm doing. Then you're going to have to help out, contribute early because at some point, one of these haters is going to say that my content is unsuitable. Right. And then once they say it's unsuitable, it's going to get, this whole thing is going to get demonetized. So make sure y'all contribute to the Super Chat, the Cash App, and PayPal. Go ahead and do that right now because I'm trying to tell y'all this is what's about to happen. Most of my videos from the past couple of days have been getting raked out. They've been booted off YouTube. Somebody's reporting them. So, you know, you guys make sure y'all you know, y'all contribute to the Super Chat, the Cash App, PayPal. Mods, let me tell you something. I don't want anybody in my chat room saying anything that can get us kicked off. No homophobic remarks, no racist remarks. Anybody who's saying anything crazy, any disrespect, block them off top. We just block them. We culling everybody up out of here. We blocking folks, okay? Because it was a time when I had 5,000 followers. And, you know, and my people who really appreciate what I was doing, they contribute. So those are the ones that really let me know they have positive things to say. So we getting rid of anybody who got anything negative to say, period. If you got something negative to say, you don't like what I'm doing here, cool. That means maybe you just don't like brothers. Maybe you don't like masculine black men talking to other masculine black men. You up out of here. We getting out of here. And what I'm going to try to do in a minute is when we get to a point where the only people that can speak are people who are members. Now, I had that going for a minute, but something happened and it just went down. But whatever, you know, whatever it is, whatever, man. But you guys get rid of all the haters. No hate. This is a hate-free zone down here. Okay, so we not doing any hate. Get rid of anybody. You know, this is not what we're doing. And make sure you contribute to the Super Chat, Cash App, and the PayPal. Again, the situation with my son, who was in 7th grade at the time, I went up to the school. I went to the school. I report the issue. They referred me over to the vice principal. He told me exactly. I told him exactly where the altercation happened. He found the video footage. He saw that what my son said was true. The other little boy, you know, he got reprimanded. I think he got suspended. Nothing happened to my son because all my son did was after the push, he just turned around and he made sure to again. And that was it. But what my son recognized was that if he follows my instructions and he does what I say, even though he can protect himself, I can do it better and I can do it cleaner. And so he was with that. You know, I'm still building trust. So the situation with Ron's jacket, the situation with Dennis's cell phone when he was in the 5th grade, the situation with dealing with bullies at the school, my sons are now beginning to trust me. And I'm showing them also how they can protect themselves. So they walk to the school like, you know, my daddy, even if he does have to come up here, he's going to do it in a respectful manner. He's going to go through the right channel. And what does that do? That gives them confidence that they can tell themselves, because I'm not going up there screaming and accusing people and threatening to sue and all that sort of stuff and talking loud, you know, like so many of the lovely ladies do. And that's why boys don't want to say nothing to them, because they don't want to get her involved in the situation. Because it's like, man, you know, I don't want to tell my mama, so they try to deal with it, and it makes the situation worse. Now, here's another one. We're talking about protecting our black sons. Black fathers protecting black sons. You got disrespectful family members. You got disrespectful family members that is off the wall stuff, disrespectful stuff to your sons. They'll make comments about their hair texture. They'll make comments about their skin color, how they walk, how they talk, whatever. You, as a father, have to be proactive and check those people. See, some of y'all come from the school that, oh, well, you know, they're going to have to learn to defend themselves. Yeah, but not now. Not today. I'm not going to let a grown-up disrespect my son. See, if it was another child saying something ridiculous to my son, that'd be different. You're supposed to cap back. You're supposed to say something you do. But if it's a grown-up, adult, or even an older teenager or something like that, it's an older child or whatever, older than mine, then you got to get involved in that. And why? Because they can just beat you. It's on you to show your son, hey, I will defend you, but then also how to defend themselves. So there's a situation where my adopted father, he said some off the wall foolishness to my son in my son's presence. And he said, hologram EMC, you're expected to fail, and if you don't fail, your own many teachers are obliged to help you fail free of charge. True that. That's true, man. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Hit the #1 button. We got 58 people in here contribute to the super chat. They trying to put Uncle D off the internet, man. They don't want Uncle D. I've been at it strong for about since October. And so, you know, we running up on a year real quick. It's June now. You see what I mean? So I've been here 10 months. And, you know, I feel like I'm making an impact. I must be making it. I'm doing 2 a day as fast. My God, 9 months, you know, preparing these things. So I'm making an impact. But so y'all make sure you contribute to the super chat, the Cash App, and PayPal. Let these haters know that they're not gonna stop the train, and the people and my brothers love me. As long as my brothers appreciate what I'm doing, I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna find a way to keep it going. As long as you brothers appreciate me, I'm gonna keep going. I got a catalog of about 600 videos y'all can go through. And my man Hologram EMC said, I just bought Moving On iTunes. That's what's up. Here's another thing, man. As I said before, my adopted father, we were at his house. My son was probably about 2 years old. And I don't know if y'all have seen my son's hair. You know, he got a nice little gray hair. I'm talking about then my oldest son. And when he was little, it was really curly and thick. And so his neighbor, who was a white dude, came through And you know, he was saying, "Oh my God, the little boy's hair is so beautiful and curly and blah 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 whatnot." And then my black adopted father said, "Oh no, it's gonna nap up in a little while. It'll start napping soon." And I looked at him like, "Dude, first of all, why are you even entertaining this white man's conversation, this passive aggressive, shot at my son's hair with this white dude?" That was the first thing that came to my mind. Like, why are we even doing this? This is not even acceptable. Like, what's wrong with you? You know, and then I said, you know, you don't know what his hair texture is going to be like either way. You know, my son was still young. He probably didn't understand fully contextualize the statement, but that is the sort of protective reaction that you have to have, even when it's dealing with somebody that you love and respect, who may be your father or your grandfather or your mother or your auntie or whatever. You have got to protect your children. You can't let people get too comfortable thinking they can say any other thing to your children. And that's what being a dad is about. Sometimes you protecting your children is going to be uncomfortable and all. All right, we back again. So what I was saying was, if you don't get people used to you responding to them when they say disrespectful and belittling things to your children, then they'll think it's cool. They'll say you liked it. If you ignore it, they'll say you must have liked it. You can't let stuff like that slide, man. I'll hear me. If you can hear me, hit the #1 button. If you can hear me, hit the #1. It's clear. If you hear me, hit the #1 button. You know you can hear what I'm saying. But again, even family members, you know, the comment made about my son's hair, that was just unacceptable. And I just, even though he was a little boy, you have to begin to train your elders when it comes to their children. Because otherwise, what they'll do is they'll pass that low self-esteem that they have for themselves off on your children. Now, here's another one. You have situations where you might have your own relatives threatening to strike your children, threatening to do something to your kids. Now, what you have to do, first of all, ahead of time, everybody around you, family, friends, foes, they need to understand that you are that dad who is extremely protective of your children. If it means you have to jump in and physically intervene, you'll do that. And then it also means that you will call the police on folks if they do stuff to your kids. See, that's the other thing they need to understand. They need to understand that if we're going to go from 0 to 100 when it comes to my children, I am here to protect my children, period. It's the beatings and running, the bad end. Nobody protects but boys. So, your presence as a father is very important. What does that mean? People need to see you spending time with your sons. Boys who don't have fathers around, boys who don't have strong male in their life, what ends up happening? They get abused more. They get people in society naturally don't protect the girls. But for the most part, little boys are kind of on their own from the time they stand up and, in the bathroom on their own and don't need any help. And so, but they still need protections. People prey on little boys too. There was a story about this Catholic priest. He found out that the boy's dad had died, and the first thing he did was head over to that boy's house and begin to console the family, and end up doing something extremely and very inappropriate with that child over a duration of time. And so because of that, that lets you know, and that's an example. That's why you have to set your present. Put your mark down. Let people know you love your children. Situation that harms your children. Nobody's gonna get away with it. period. And my man Bartholomew Valiant says, much respect, brother. And that's what you have to do, make your presence known. And then here's another thing, that mother's romantic life. See, that mother needs to be able to tell that new father, yeah, his daddy is heavily involved. You know, they don't need it. That's one thing they don't need. He's heavily involved. So that in itself is a form of protection. You know, you print it all over your sons. They don't need any. And so, you know, the baby's mother, the ex-wife, they're going to bring new men around. And what is she going to want to do? Your baby mama, especially if you're dealing with a black baby mama, she ain't really going, you know, she don't really respect you like that. She think you can be replaced just like you was a G.I. Joe action figure. She'll take this one and put it there. I'm going to take Snake Eyes and replace him with Ranger Bob. You see what I'm saying? Like, important to her. But see, and so she'll do that. So she'll bring new men around. And so what you have to do is you have to ask yourself the question, do I want to meet this person? Do I not want to meet the person? Here's the thing I want to run by you, because this is a scenario that I had to deal with. I was in law school. Matter of fact, I was fresh out of law school. And I was dating this chick down in New Orleans. And her name was just called T. And T had a little daughter, like 4 years old. And I'm like, man, I don't want to be dating no kid. But, you know, she was cool. She had, you know, she was fine and everything. And, you know, and so I ended up messing around with her for a little while. But here's the problem. She had two men in her life, her ex-boyfriend and her baby daddy. Now, the crazy thing about it was, being the baby daddy was cool. He was just happy that she had found somebody who was a clean-cut professional and upstanding. So he was cool being cool with me. So I took him like, okay, yeah, this is when you have kids and you know you go meet a child. I think it was like a birthday party or something like that, kid. And then there was another situation where I'm over my girl house. Her ex-boyfriend showed up at the house. It's like 1:30 in the morning. I'm just about to leave the house. I'm like, man, this is my connection is acting up again. Can you guys hear me? If you can hear me, let me know you can hear me. Let me know when the connection is not acting up again. Let's see. Let's see. It looks like it's frozen. That's Braxton Spivey. Let's see. It looks like it's frozen. Braxton Spivey. You've been here a long time and you ain't contributed to none of the Cash App, the PayPal. Is that the same? Maybe you contribute to the Super Chat, the Cash App, and the PayPal. Or I'm going to start thinking you one of these lovely ladies that's here trying to, or maybe I have this person confused with somebody else. I done had a lot of lovely ladies coming to my page. And, you know, y'all not here to learn. You're not here to, you know, try to help Black men build. You're not here to do that. You're here to cause chaos and destruction. I don't know if Braxton Spivey is that person. I might have the wrong person. The ones that contribute, I know that you are not, you know, here just try to block the message. But either way, you guys make sure you hit the number one button. Hit the number one button if you can hear me and I get back to work with the conversation. Hit the number one button if you guys can hear me. AJ, Jay Diesel, he can hear. Hit the number one button if y'all can hear me. Alfonso says, and it's in and out. Okay, I get it. But bottom line is what I was saying, fellas, is, you know, so the baby daddy was cool. The ex-boyfriend was a jerk, right? Some scummy dude that she decided to pick up. And so I began to figure out, what do I do? I've not met any of my boyfriend or my child. I ain't met them. Don't need to meet them. Meet my son, don't meet. On top of that, my son 13 going on 14 and 11 going on 12. They damn near grown in already. They already have well-developed personalities. And their personalities have been heavily influenced by me, their dad. And I spent all this time with them. You know, it is what it is. So, you know, the other thing is they know the type of person I am. I prove to everybody around me the type of father I am. Extremely protective, extremely involved in my son's life. arm them both physically and psychologically. And on top of that, I step up to meet anybody who is trying, whether it's school, whether it's, dealing with faculty members, whether family members, friends don't really have problems like that. But the bottom line is, this is how you begin. You take that proactive role in protecting your sons, and you reap the rewards from it. Now, look, I'm gonna go ahead and open the chat room up, bring everybody in here. I think I'm gonna have to change up my formula for how video, because apparently that's also part of the problem. And so what I have to do is, change up the format for the show. But the line is, here we are. Link is in the chat room. If you want to come talk about this, I invite you guys in. Come talk about it. Let's talk about this. Protecting our Black sons. It's an important thing. We need that next generation. I don't care what any of these people are talking about, man. You're not going to stop the conversation. We're going to have a conversation about Black masculinity. We're going to have a conversation about saving our Black boys for our boys. Nobody is going to stop this conversation. We're going to keep acting. And JJ Diesel, what's that? Oh, how you? Welcome. Oh, can you? Let me see if I can get you in.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing, boss man? You're kind of in and out at the
moment. And they block my shows and crazy. I must be breaking out. What are you on the conversation we have now? My voice.
I can hear you, but you're talking.
You see, AJ? Can you hear me?
A little bit, brother. You're fading.
Can you hear me?
I can't make out anything now.
Go ahead and get on the conversation.
You're cutting in and out. I was trying to get on last night too. Okay, how about now?
Okay. All right, I can hear you fine. What are your thoughts on the conversation?
Yeah. Can you hear me okay? They got you buffering pretty bad. I just want to say, and I know how this kid was hanging out with me and these other kid was trying to bully him. This was in high school, and I said, he's with me, you leave him alone. They walked off. I don't have any kids, but I think I can kind of relate to something like that. And the school system is corrupt. If you try to go and tell on another student for bothering you, they ain't quick to do nothing about it.
Mm-hmm.
Then the parents will have to get involved.
Right. I can hear you. Yeah.
How about now? Can you hear me? Okay, sorry about that. It's I guess, and plus YouTube is buffering.
Right. I'm gonna go to Malika real quick, bro. All right, Malika, are you there?
You know, it was two of them.
Yeah. What are your thoughts,
and
Malika?
They were trying to pick at him.
Conversation.
You're strictly on point because I never had anybody come to the school and protect me. There was one incident that was really, really terrible when I was a kid. I was about 9 or 10 years old, and a bunch of kids jumped me, and one of the kids urinated on me.
Oh no, man!
And what I remember, the kid got suspended, but when the teacher heard about it, when the vice principal and principal heard about it, they really didn't say nothing. They knew it was embarrassing. But when my family found about it, because I'm smelling bad and I'm all ruined. I can't go back
Yeah.
to class. So they called my grandmother, and I was hoping my grandmother would say something, and my grandfather heard about it, and then eventually my mom heard about it, but they kind of ain't say nothing. And even as a little kid, I'm like, as a little kid, that's degrading. You even
It
know
is.
that's degrading.
Yeah, that's a grown man. That's the all that.
Are you
is
there?
horrible.
I
Can you hear
mean,
me?
Go ahead, Malaka.
but I was realizing, like, even back then as a kid, y'all not going to say anything. Y'all not going to defend me or anything.
Mm.
And right then and there, that hurt. But it hurt so bad, and it still hurts to this day.
Yeah.
But I remember, as you know, we go through this journey of just
How about now? I don't have
becoming
men.
becoming men, and this red pill awareness, especially about Black men. Nobody comes to protect us.
Right.
And like how you said, just the simple stuff with the jacket,
Mm-hmm.
and just the simple stuff with the little girl stepping on your son's bag and hitting his like this messing with his coat, but just the fact that you stuck up for your sons and you said, hold up, but you didn't get crazy. But my thing is, you're not going to say anything. You're not going to be outraged and like nobody didn't say anything. And I'm like, I'm your son, I'm your grandson.
Right.
And this is where it gets to the point where nobody comes to save us.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody cares for us. I mean, but the funny thing is, if it was a little girl, just a simple fact, like you said, when the little girl came to your son and your son is pushing her off his bag and she starts running and crying, but she wants to start something. But if that would happen to me, to a young lady, all the stops would have been pulled out. The little, the boy would have been put to jail. All the screws would have been put to him. But the thing is, when you're saying masculinity, and I gotta tell you something, my grandfather was 6'3", 220 pounds, but my grandma ruled the roost.
Mm-hmm.
And like how you said, masculinity, you came. Like like I said to you yesterday, man, I wish I had a father like you when I was growing up, because if I had a father like me when I was growing up, if something happened to me, I would have screamed bloody hell. You're going to desecrate my child like that.
Right.
And the thing is, but this is, and I just want to use what happened to me. Like, men, you got to speak up, because 40 some odd years ago, a kid can urinate on me and disrespect me. What do you think is going to happen in 2021 to your child on the playground or in the school? This is the thing where we as men need to stick up for our kids. But the problem is, we got to get involved even if the mom is there. But you see, we are living in a time where women run the community. The gynocracy is in charge. So if the gynocracy is in charge, your sons are not worth what.
Right.
So anything can happen to them. Anything can happen to them sexually. Anything can happen to them scholastically. Anything can happen to them socially. Anything, you never know. You got, like, the thing is, you got to, like you always say, you got to keep your head on a swivel. You never know. Your son could be in a school play and they want him to wear a dress.
Oh my God, right?
Your son could be in some type of play and he's dancing with another boy.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that. But you don't know about that. You don't understand. They want you. It's a certain thing that you can wear, or appreciation day, and they want your son to wear a certain article of clothing. But then next thing you know, it gets back to you see the pictures. It's like, wait a minute, why is my son wearing this stuff? I don't want him to wear this, you know what? And but this is the things that as men we have to stick up. And they say, oh, you're toxically masculine, you're not, like you said, your son is not a match for the school. All right, deuces. But this is where we as men got to step up.
Yeah, it is what it is, man. It's the consequences. It's not about the right decision or wrong decision. It's about the consequences you will deal with. I wasn't going to deal with the consequences of my son basically looking up to me like, Daddy, you let me down. Like, that's my jacket. You didn't. That boy has my jacket. They're wearing my jacket, and you're trying to be cool with these people, and just you don't want to get along with the son. That's just a little $20 jacket. I'll get you. But no, that's my jacket, and my mother had one just like it, and like that was something that was given to me, and you're allowing it to be taken away from me just because you trying to go along to get along.
You know what you did, brother? You know what you did? You hauled off like you got a pair and you had a backbone.
Mm-hmm.
You stood up like a man. First of all, it's like, wait a minute, I don't care. Right is right. You see this going around and you did something that you're supposed to do. Yeah, now the law's involved. Now you want to get on your P's and Q's. Now you want to give the coat back, but you couldn't give it back before.
Right.
That's my thing. I said, you knew right was right, but you didn't want to give it back before because you didn't find value in my child.
Right.
I said, you're supposed to be a school. You're supposed to look after everybody's child. Something simple in a situation that is my child's coat and you can't give it back. But now I got to call the law in. And now we got to make a police report because if the police report's made and the investigation is made, that looks bad on that principal or vice principal's watch.
Right.
And another thing is, like you said, she's a lovely lady. They want to look pristine and they don't want anything to look bad because if it looks bad on them, they're like, well, them black women, they don't know how to do anything because it makes look bad on her character and the stereotype comes down on her.
Right. And so, the other thing, man, you got to keep out is because she saw me as a black man. Oh, I could tell him what to do. Mm-hmm. That particular lady, she tried to drop on something. Well, my husband is a lawyer, and I'm like, okay, what does that have to do with anything?
Yeah,
he's the next thing that you're announcing. Because my letter indicated I don't want to have to get this any further. And so, AJ, can you hear me? AJ, you still there? JJ, are you there? Yeah, Jay got some sound issues. But Malak, can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you, brother. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. So, can everybody in the audience all hear me? Hit the number 1 button if you can hear me. But this lady, I sent several emails that day, like their mother was trying to do with it. She couldn't get it done. They wouldn't return her messages. And I'm like, oh, they return my messages. I'll pay tuition at this place. And so, after about 3 or 4 emails, 4 or 5 phone calls, this one, all I'm trying to do is, can you get his jacket back so we don't have to call up there anymore? It's been going on for a week. My son is seeing this other boy with his jacket every day, walking the hallway with his jacket on, and he's telling people, that's my jacket, that's my jacket. And they know it's his jacket, but they won't take it because they want to offend doctors. And I'm like, I don't give a damn who they are. You're not going to take my son's things. And the other game that I don't play like is I don't play that status game. See,
you don't play that what game?
That status, status, the new status.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm a member of this sorority. I'm a member of this fraternity. Oh, I do this. I went to this university.
We do that to each other so hard, man.
And see, I don't play that game. So when black folks, especially black women, try to drop, oh, my son is a corporate lawyer. They love to say, oh, my son attended Yale. I don't really give a damn. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter to me, period. I don't care. And they don't like that. You see me? I'm a member of Alpha Phi Alpha. And a lot of my fraternity brothers, I don't play that game with them. They'll tell you now. When, after pros, I was going to be doing that neophyte stuff. I might whoop your ass. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to get you a beer. I ain't getting chicken. I might talk in the mouth. If you say them about it, they're a punk. You see what I'm saying? That's the attitude. Like, we even now. Like, you got your list, I got my letters in school. It was the same thing. Once I became a lawyer, I'm a lawyer, you a lawyer. I'm going to learn all I can to be the best I can. But I don't care whose law firm you work for. I don't care whose court. I will pass in court, and I'm going to get my money, and I'm going to walk away, and I'm not going to care.
You see, but that's the thing that I'm sorry, brother. I mean to cut you off.
My whole point is that you got to stop trying to keep up. Black men, you got to stop trying to be so cool. You understand? You got to stop trying to be so. Quan Brown said that stop trying to be an honorary member of the Go Along, Get Along gang.
Exactly.
And to just do what you have to do to get the respect you need for yourself and your family, and put that also in line with you respecting your children. Make people respect your children. But
you know what the funny thing was? You know what you did? You made that woman respect you. You see, and that was another thing, because you have to understand something, man. The conditioning, even though that you and your ex-wife came up there and both of you are professionals.
Yeah.
But the problem was, even though that you were professionals, she still saw herself as a superior to you because she's a black woman. And the thing was, she wanted to throw her weight around and saying, well, my son is an attorney. And like, but okay, what I got to do with the price of tea in China? I'm here to deal with this situation here. The problem is, and I said, you're not doing your job as an educator, and you're not facilitating discipline well. You're showing a piss poor job as an educator. And also, if you're running this facility, why are you not handling it the right way? Now I got it. Like, now I'm repeat myself. I have to get the law in order for you to do something simple, something that has been going on for years and years and years, where kids take kid stuff.
Yeah.
Shoot, back in the day when you and I, we was in school, if we did something such and such, somebody took my stuff. Is that Dennis's code? Yes, give it back. Okay.
Right.
But the thing is,
they didn't want to take it back because they want to make sure we're not taking this family. We want to make sure we're not offending them. And see, didn't get, and I peeped that out. But see, it got real when that police report came through. And then
now, I got a question. Was the boy that took your son's coat, was he white or was he black?
He was a little black boy.
But the thing was, because they were people that give money to the school and they had a little bit of higher status.
It might have that. See, I got a little less than that too. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm willing to go just a little bit further than most people are willing to go for my respect.
Exactly.
You see me and give me what's mine. And see, black people, I'm gonna say this, I am not cool. I am not a cool black man. You see what I'm saying? And I think a lot of people early on figured that out on YouTube. Like, this dude is contemplating suing people for things that they said. I've contemplated suing some folks in some comments in the they used to say a chill button. My chill button is missing. You see what I mean? And when it comes to my rights and my respect and me protecting my family and my children, I don't have a chill button. And
exactly.
More black men who are like that. We need to be more like that, you know. And you know, and I had a conversation earlier, and I think we're over in the chat room with PJ Moore and Dr. Johnson. We were talking about the reparations argument. You know, the thing is, man, I believe that we just got to deal with the truth, accept the fact that what happened, our history is unfortunate, but anybody who's involved needs to be sued, and that also includes our African brothers and sisters. We don't need to be emotional about it. They owe us something, they need to pay us. And a lot of folks, you should, that's horrible. How because they owe us. You see what I mean? You understand what I'm saying, bro?
Yeah, but you see, that's the problem. Remember, like you said, you got to stop being the nice guy.
Right, that's it.
The thing is, black men, we've been conditioned to be the complacent Negro. or the complacent ninja. And that's what they expect. That's what the greater society expects. That's what our women expect.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, that lovely lady who was the principal of your son's school, she was expecting you to not take it that far.
Right.
But the problem was, oh God, now he's involved in the loan. Now she got to pick up the pieces, and now she got to try to iron out all the creases and put everything back together with crazy glue. But the coup de grace for her
next day. That's what I'm saying. You know, go ahead.
But the coup de grace for her was like, your son is not a fit for this place. You know, she wanted to kick y'all out because you rattled the grass to let the snakes know that you here.
Right.
But the thing is, and you know why she did that? Because she knew if any other situations were going to happen, you were the rebel rouser that was going to bring some problems. See, that's the thing where we like, oh, we got to get rid of this ninja and his child.
She did not want to have somebody like me where she had to respect my rights.
Exactly.
Now, white folks, white men do that all the time. Nobody bothers them. Like, oh my God, oh, we need to get little Johnny because they would already understand. Like, matter of fact, his dad might be the chief of police or the deputy sheriff. But see, when black men begin to advocate on behalf of the children, oh no, I dare you. You see, the crazy thing is, man. It's so much. It's our social status. It's people's perception of you, brothers. All I'm saying is this, man. Brothers need to speak up on behalf of your sons. You need to protect them, not just physically, but also from the psychological harm that comes from family members trying to belittle them. It comes from the being that they get at school, taking their things, even just because there's also situations where, you know, a teacher might say off the comment to your son, and you got to go up there and you got to check them on it. And I'm talking about I'll write letters, emails. I want to address this. I want to have a conversation about this. You document it. You need to remove my son from this particular class. We need to separate from the school. Do I need to write the school board? Do we need to write the head of the school board? Do we need to write the superintendent? All of these things, man, you know, is how you begin to pave a way for your sons to make it in this world. The truth is, like, everybody ain't gonna make it. What I am doing and what I'm doing is showing you how you can make sure your sons make it. You know what I'm talking about, brother?
I totally agree.
Yeah, man.
That's something that, well, we as black men of all ages, everybody ain't gotta like you. And I don't want everybody to like me. But I want you to respect me.
Yeah.
I don't care whatever it is. Whatever the situation is going on here, at this time and moment, you're going to respect me. You're going to show what needs to be done. And that woman had to show you the respect of giving your child his coat back.
Right. I don't think she expected it. She just feared what I would do. And I tell my people all the time, anybody around me, if respect is not available, fear is sufficient.
Exactly.
Fear.
And that's the thing. And you know what that was? And see, that right then and there, that I think makes our people, but especially our lovely ladies, when they fear a situation because it's like, oh crap, now what I got to do? Now you got to make things right, because now you know something's on the line because you involved the law. You did what you were supposed to do as a father, not just as a citizen, but as a father and as a man. And you were doing right by your kids. You were doing everything right as a man. The problem was this woman got mad for you exercising your rights as a man and as a father. And the problem was she didn't like that you had the balls to do that.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to do that. We're not supposed to do that.
Now, let me tell you the important thing that happened, right? The most important thing that happened in that whole situation, I gained, or better yet, I maintained the respect of my son.
There you go.
there was a situation, and I'm gonna share this with you guys. There was a situation when I was 8 years old. It happened in Houston, Texas. My adopted father, you know, I didn't know he was not my father at the time, and I used to look up to him. You know, he was like, you know, my hero. You know, he was Black Superman to me. You know, he was dad in a time when, in the 80s, when a lot of Black boys didn't even have dads. And so, you know, the fact that I had a dad, I got to my dad. You know, I love my dad. Blah blah blah, whatever. But the thing was, he was a little bit disrespectful. He would call me names. You know, not bad names, but just kind of like belittling names. You know, stuff you'd expect like a stepdad to do, like that passive aggressive sort of thing. And you know, I ignored it because that's my dad. But you know, he would give me. I remember once he gave me a whooping for something I didn't do. Hey, I didn't do it. He said, "Well, you know, whatever. That's the worst thing that ever happened to you. You'll be all right." I'm like, man, that was so unfair. You know, I don't like that. But you know, to me, he kind of came off like a bully. You know, only like 5'10". You know, God bless him. He did the best he could with what he did. I would like to think he's only like 5'10", so he's not a terribly big man. And so you can kind of see that small man complex. And here I am, 8, 9 years old. I'm damn near up to his shoulder. You see what I'm saying? Because he's not my father. Like it just, I got my dad's genetics. I'm tall. But long story short, man, we was going to this ice cream place, 31 flavors. And it was probably like, I don't know, maybe 82, 83. He had this woman, and she was a white Puerto Rican woman. Now, to you and I, she looked white, but to white people, she looked like, you know, a Mexican. You understand what I'm saying? Now, she was in the car, I was in the car, I got to the car, I went in. Her brother was in the car, he was in the back seat, he got out the car. My adopted father, he was in the car, he got out. Apparently, when she got out the car, she hit this pickup truck with this good old. So I made my way in. I'm in 31 favors. I'm in Kevin. I'm going here to get me some daiquiri ice, you know, on the cone. You know what I mean? You know, her brother who just got out of jail, he's supposed to be. And then of course I got my adopted father who's this tough guy. Now I'm already looking like, yeah, you my dad, but man, you show as good at bullying me. You see what I'm saying? If you guys can hear me, hit the #1 button, by the way. And but man, so the redneck comes, and apparently he has hit, you know, she hit his car. So he started cussing her out with all sort of racial that you call a Latina woman. And there it is, my adopted father who would come in right behind him, would stand next to him, not really saying anything other, would you like to step outside? Would you like to step outside? Would you like to step outside? And her big bad brother, who was standing next to her, just kept facing forward and not even acknowledging this man, this white man, this one white man is cussing his Latina woman out, or his Latina sister, calling her all sort of racial epithets, calling, and then in front of her, who was my adopted father at the time. So I'm sitting there like, you ain't as bad as I thought you was. You see what I mean? I lost a lot of respect for that man right then and there. You know, because here it is, you all big and bad with me. You know, that's the worst thing. You know, you whooping me for something I didn't do it. That's the bad, worst thing. So it's like I start saying, you know, I start doing some comparing and contrast. Those of you all who read my book kind of talk about that. I have an uncle, Malika, my uncle Bob. He's a Vietnam vet. The cool thing about him is he didn't get drafted to go to Vietnam. He volunteered.
He one of them dudes.
Airborne, dropped out of a plane into the DMZ, you know, into the war zone. Then fought there, did a tour there, got out the army, re-enlisted as a Marine, went back in as a sergeant. This is. I said, how would Uncle Robert, Bob, how would he handle it? Well, he would basically pull out time and say, Bob, who you talking? Don't disrespect my woman like you disrespecting me. He would have ended that conversation. Uncle Slim would at least say, you can't talk to my woman like that, man. You know, let's go out here and look at the truck. You know, and if it's the dinner, I pay to get taken care of. But you know, I mean, what these things happen. This is what happens when you're And if the man jumped on him, then he might have put one in. But not just stood by and said, would you like to step outside? Would you like to step outside? I'm telling you, black men, that you don't want your sons to see you as a weak ass punk. You don't want your sons to see you as having failed them, because if they do that, they will never respect you again. They will never go on that. And they'll allow you to have, they'll understand, but they still won't see you as the man you need to see. See, my sons respect me because thus far, and they're only 13 and 11, I've been able to put forth, and my people say, okay, y'all can hear me hit the, if you hear me hit the number 1 button, let me know if you can you hear me?
I can hear you just borging in and out every now and then.
Okay, cool. But the bottom line is, fellas, you need your son's respect. You need to step up. I'm not asking you to jump up and, resort to violence. I'm asking you to defend your sons. Use your words. Use your letters. Use your emails. If you have to, put your body between people. That's all I'm saying. That are trying to harm your children. Don't let it go down like that. That's all I'm saying, man. Buffalo said I'm breaking up. But either way, man, that's really all I got to say. Malika, what else would you like to say, man? And please comment on these habits, man. You've been with me past 9 months since we started doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And lately, in most of my last videos I put up got booted out of YouTube, man. But no, I mean, like, it's crazy what's happening, man. And yes, I'm really making impact. What impact do you think they can got these folks, trying to get me put off YouTube? What is happening, man? I mean,
Well, first of all, what you're doing is you're talking about men. You're talking about men. You're talking about masculinity.
Mm-hmm.
And what that a lot of people are thinking, like, oh, now they might think it's toxic masculinity, might think whatever it is, but whatever it is, you're talking about men, and you're talking about men being men. You're wanting black men to be unapologetically masculine, but to be unapologetically who you are, a leader, like you're talking about today. Like for the past 3 days, you're talking about men being men, fathers, fatherhood, which rarely gets talked about, black male fatherhood, which in a positive light. You're showing pictures of you and your sons. You're not just showing off that you're going on. No, you're showing that you're in, from the time your sons came out of your ex-wife's womb, you were involved in their life. Yeah. Can I say something, man? In your first book, I never forget this. When you're talking about you are about to be married, your wife is coming down the altar, and you're looking at your father, and you're looking at your mother, and you start crying, but the people think that you're crying because you're crying of joy. You're saying to us, the readers, you're crying because your mother and your father did not prepare you how to be a husband and a father. And right then and there, at that moment, you had that moment of clarity of like, what am I going to do? Because I'm now in charge of this woman. Right. You have to cover her. And I kept reading that over and over again, and that put in my head, and I could understand that because at times when I was in relationships, I did not know how to be with a woman. When I wanted to get married to a woman, I didn't know how to be a husband. But the thing is, and it didn't matter, because no matter what your status was as a lawyer, and no matter whatever, how much money you're making, no matter how much education or whatever accolade you made, it's narrowing down to you as a man. And you're talking about all the stuff that you made in the past, the mistakes that you made, the progressions that you made, and you're telling us men how we should act as fathers, as husbands, as brothers, just as men, but especially as black men in this society. And you're not supposed to do that. And the problem is, you're making waves. Like BGS said before the stream here on Dr. Tia Sons Johnson. Now you're known, man. If nobody's saying nothing to you now, You know, you've been all right, but now you're making waves. Now you're on the hit list. So, you know, as I used to say, now your cherry's broken.
Hey,
So,
man, I'm gonna keep talking though, brother, because I know the life I see might be my own, man. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I know that me speaking to black men about responsible, good fathers, be catering to themselves, putting themselves first, focusing on their physical, their emotional, their spiritual well-being, exercising their options, becoming the best man to be. That's saving my life and my son's life, bro.
mhm.
You understand what I'm saying? Because I'm making better black men, so we don't have to worry about all these hurt, angry black men around here in the United States taking each other's lives, taking our lives, our sons, our nephews, us. You see what I'm saying? I'm trying my best to put these good vibes out here because I know, again, the life I say may be mine, might be yours, might be JJD's, or a lot of these other brothers. That's why I'm throwing this positivity out there, man. I don't cuss at nobody. I call them lovely ladies. I don't call them German shepherds, or pit bulls, or Rottweilers. I don't call them none of that, man. They still trying to get me up there, boy. That is old as a rich city in the brand raw. But anyway, man, let's see if we get JJ. JJ, can you hear that, man?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's kind of sounding like
What you
that.
gotta say on this stuff? What else you gotta do, bro?
I just wanted to say, we have to really protect our young men. I had to cut
Yeah.
my whole mother side of the family off just about, except for a few exceptions, include my mother because of the death threats. They didn't want to. They didn't appreciate me standing up for myself when I spoke against the disrespect. I wear expensive boots and hats, and I don't like nobody to touch my hat.
Mm-hmm.
I even got into it with a DOT officer at a pool hall. He knocked
Mm.
my hat off on the ground and on the floor in the pool hall. I put my hat back on. I snatched his cap off and started to stomp it. Everybody looked at me like I was crazy. He was off duty. He was there drinking and doing his thing. And that's one incident. And I told my cousin about it who touched my hat, how extreme I am about my hats. That's a man's crown. Don't touch a man's crown. And she had a
What about
celebration.
these kids? Okay, what about the kids, man? Do you have children?
It's. I was just thinking about this.
Do you have biological children?
It's the whole agenda is the devil is running the government and the government trying to destroy the men. That's what it is.
Can you hear? I don't think he can hear me. I'm trying to ask him a question. But anyway, thank you so much, JJ. I appreciate it. Malak, what else you got to say before we roll up here?
I gotta say one thing, man. You know,
Yeah.
brothers like you, BGS, Angry Man, Dr. T. Son Johnson, Green Gorilla. You know, you breathe life into us men. You make us proud you help us to be proud to be men, masculine men, to be unapologetically masculine, to be beautiful, strong, enterprising black men. And the thing is, we're not on here, you know, jerking around, talking a bunch of smack, but you're talking with content. You're not just coming on here. We're not bashing women. We're not bashing anybody. You're speaking truth to life. You're giving content for us that we can believe in ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the important thing. Now, I don't care what anybody says or what everybody's doing. It don't matter. You know, this is showing that you're having black men think. And that's the biggest problem. Black men are thinking and black men are speaking up. We're voices and we need to be heard. But the thing is, it's not just a voice, it's voices, and it's a collective group of voices, but it's a collective group of voices that are backed by intelligentsia, backed by professional men, backed by men that ain't no slouches. And this has been going on for the past 40 to 60 years. And it's not just talking about black women and our issues with them or the lovely ladies. It's not talking about racism, white supremacy. It's everything. It's our identity. It's our agency. It's us wanting to be viewed as human beings. It's us to be doing it. And you and all the other gentlemen I just mentioned are pushing us to be that way and wanting us to, like you said, you gotta stop being nice. You're not telling us to be buttholes, but you're telling us stop being nice because that's what you've been trained to be. You've been trained to walk away. You've been trained to keep your head in the sand like an ostrich. You've been trained to just be so compliant and so passive. You know, we got to learn how to be. If you got to be the butthole to get your point across and let these people know, oh, okay. And if you're going to lose family members and friends, all right, but they at least know that you meant business.
Right.
And I just commend you and those brothers. Just and I'm going to say this before you get off, and I don't want to run so much. BGS and Angry Man saved my life a couple of years ago because when I was in school, I was struggling. I didn't know how I was going to make the money. I know I was going to pay my bills. I know I was going to pay tuition. And I was contemplating suicide. And I was looking where the apartment I was at in school was on the 13th floor. And I was looking at the balcony and I wanted to jump. And, I said, man, I'm out of prison. I don't know how I'm going to make this money, how I'm going to do this. And it's hard. And BGS's baritone voice came in my head. And he said, don't do it. BGS got that deep voice. Come on, Malika, don't do it. Then Angry Man's face, his mean mug came in his face. He's like, come on, man, what you doing? And I was just like, all right, you made it this far, player. Come on. It ain't that deep. And I made it. But this is what I'm saying. When you have men like you, and I'm saying this to the brothers out here in the chat and they're listening. When you have brothers like that, if I didn't have that, I didn't know what I would have done. Because I had angels like BGS and Angry Man on my shoulder. And in my head and my heart and my spirit telling me, no, come on, brother. Keep going. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. And brothers like you, come on. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. You don't got to do 2 shows a day, man. You chilling with your kids and your lady. And you here at 12:30 at night talking to us. Now, I don't know about you, but if I was at the DR with my lady, I want to be on here with y'all. Yeah. But you have the heart and love for Black men that you want to do this. You don't have to do that, but that shows that, and you're speaking on a subject that is pertinent to us and to our sons. And that's nothing but love, and I commend you on that, brother. And I respect you for
that. Man, I love you. I have hope. I truly love so many friends. It seems every time I get close to somebody, I lose them, they get shot. And so
I can barely hear you, brother. You're coming in and out.
What I'm saying is, let me know if you hear me. Can you hear me right now?
A little bit better.
Can you guys hear me now?
No, I can't hear you again.
All you need to
there
understand. Okay, all you guys need to understand is that I do this because I love you. Now you appreciate me by hitting the thumbs up button, sharing it, all that, giving the donations, but like they get you not to take it. The men among my words, which I did these 3 weeks without putting up, a video. That's why I do this, because I know the voice is blind to speak. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're borging out again, man. You're borging out. Hope you're born.
I shared it to Facebook and Messenger.
Yeah, and God, that's what we need. Thank you a lot. Thank you, Jay Cal. And I always say,